Well, good afternoon from the comfort of your homes and offices across the Inland Empire and beyond. My name is Jeanette Hazelwood, and I serve as the ASI Director of External Affairs, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 Vice President Debate and Open Forum, sponsored by Associated Students, Inc. of Cal State San Bernardino. On behalf of ASI, we want to thank you all for joining us today here as we virtually broadcast live to the entire campus community. The 2021 ASI election cycle launched on April 18, 2021. And since then, our virtual engagement platforms have been surrounded with campaigns from fellow peers, each one engaging with the community on their values and goals through their personal social media accounts. Candidates today will be seeking to hold the highest student office at this university and will be discussing today their platforms on issues they would like to address, ultimately seeking your vote on April 28th and 29th. As a reminder to all, the ASI elections are at the heart of the student body and consequently serves as the ultimate function for the corporation and its operations. As we get this program started, we want to provide you with a few couple of announcements as it relates to the election process. Beginning April 28th, students who are eligible to vote as defined in the ASI bylaws will receive a message to their Coyote emails at coyote.csusb.edu, which contains a link to an ASI ballot. Each email will be unique in character and will only allow access to its intended receiver. Online voting will close on Thursday, April 29th at 11:59 p.m. If you have any questions about the process or encounter any errors on your ballot, please contact our elections coordinator via email at asi-elections@csusb.edu. If you would like to join us for the results of the election, please join us on Zoom and Instagram Live on April 30th. More information on the event access will be sent out soon. A digital platform has been launched as a part of an effort to increase awareness. Your ASI has created a website to keep you all informed about this year's election cycle. This website will serve as a beacon of information related to upcoming events, voting details, and candidates' information. We highly encourage you all to check it out very soon. And this is the link here. This is the website, I apologize. csusb.edu/ASI/ASI-elections. That is csusb.edu/ASI/ASI-elections. And now for our event. Today's debate has been set up as an opportunity for the vice president candidates, including finance, to speak to the CSUSB community about their goals and objectives. In order to ensure the fairness and equity of the debate, we have established rules that each of the candidates have agreed to. Here are the rules of the debate. Each candidate will have 3 minutes for the opening statement. After candidates have introduced themselves, we will then move to our question and answer segment, broken up into different topics. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer the questions. After everyone has had a chance to answer the question, a candidate may be challenged or questioned by another opponent for 1 minute. In return, the candidate challenged or questioned may respond for 30 seconds. If a candidate wishes to respond to a question, They may do so by raising their hand on Zoom. I will call on that candidate in the order I see the hands go up. And if we run out of time for their response, I will move on to the next question. After we finish the question and answer segment, the candidates will have 3-minute closing statements to wrap it all up. I will serve as an official timekeeper. When the time runs out, for any response, you will stop talking within 5 seconds. If you keep talking beyond the 5-second warning, your mic will be suspended. An alarm notification will let all candidates know when the time is up. Candidates, please remember, failure to abide by these rules, or if you are consistently speaking beyond the scope of the allowed time after 10 seconds, it will result in loss of your ability to speak for that section or for the entirety of the debate. Is that understood? If you can please raise your hand to signify that you understand. Thank you. Please join me in welcoming this year's candidates. We will begin in alphabetical order by last name. From the College of Natural Sciences, running for Executive Vice President, Paola Galvez. From the College of Social and Behavior Sciences, running for Executive Vice President, Natalie Ramos. From the Jack H. Brown College of Business and Public Administration, running for Vice President of Finances, Joshua Spoon. Paula, you may begin with your opening statement at this time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome all. Thank you so much, Jeanette Hazelwood, for this introduction. And thank you all so much for being here, taking time out of your day to come listen to us and our ideas and what we have in mind, our vision for the next academic year. So thank you. My name is Paola Galvez. I'm one of the candidates running for Executive Vice President. I am a second-year student majoring in general mathematics and minoring in philosophical logic. I am also part of the honors program where I am the recreational coordinator. During my first year here, I was actually the PACE liaison, however, for that, the Presidential Academic Excellence Scholarship liaison, a student that I find myself as within that as well. With ASI, I started as an advocate, going around, tabling, meeting students, gathering data, creating reports to get to the BOD, right, where change was made. The year after that, the summer before that, I launched myself for Vice President of Finance. And with all the motivation and all the support that I got from people who saw that I came in as a freshman with so much energy, said, go for it. So I did. And now I'm your current Vice President of Finance for this academic year. I am seeking your support because I know that I have so much to offer. And I know that I've already done so much within these last 2 years, taking part in not only ASI, but other clubs as well. I lead with love. Students are literally at the center of everything I do. Within this year alone, I helped to approve $40,000 to donate for the Career Center for the 2020-2021 internships. $10,000 at one point also went to our ASI scholarship. $20,000 went to our PDC peer mentors, taking care of them out there as well. $25,000 to endowment scholarships and $53,750 for our ASI scholarship. There's more than that I've done, and there's more committees as well that I've been taking part of. I love being involved. I love serving the students, and I can't wait to expand on my vision throughout the rest of this event for you all to see what I have to offer in my plan for next year. I hope you all have a wonderful day and you enjoy this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula, for your opening statement. We will move now to our next candidate, Natalie Ramos.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to come here today and listen. Thank you, Jeanette, for hosting our event here and being our moderator. So my name is Natalie. I am a third-year political science major. I'm minoring in pre-law. A little bit about myself. I currently sit as a College of Social Behavioral Science representative, and during that time, I have been able to work with the Career Center CAPS to help support our students either with their career choices after beyond college or their mental health, which is very important right now during the state of environment that we are in, whether it's academic or social. There's a lot of stress on our students. More importantly, that I want everybody to know about myself is that I have a passion for helping students, and I will do whatever I can to help students either in our transition from virtual learning to hybrid that is coming up this upcoming fall, which I think is a very important issue that needs to be addressed and more talked about with students and helping them prepare because they can't be expected to perform academically as they are pre-COVID, during COVID, and then post-COVID. So I'm here to just bring on and add on to the inclusivity that ASI has been working on, help promote the social justice within our own campus, and also hold not only our administration accountable, but also faculty, which has been kind of an issue during COVID. So I just want to thank you all for coming and just hearing me out.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for your opening statement. We will move forward to our next candidate, which is Joshua Spoon.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. Good afternoon, students of Cal State San Bernardino. My name is Joshua Spoon, and I believe that everyone should have an opportunity to know where their tuition is going. As Vice President of Finance, I will dive into the numbers and provide students with a top-down illustration of where funds are allocated in a transparent and respectful process. As an accounting student, I have been preparing for years to be a good steward of financial books, and my desire to become an external auditor gives me a keen advantage in finding inefficiencies and creating solutions to fiscal problems. Since I transferred to Cal State San Bernardino in fall of 2020, I've been honing my leadership experience. During the spring semester, I was elected the president of Beta Alpha Psi, an honors association dedicated to accounting and finance. In addition, I am proud to represent our campus in the 57th year of the International Collegiate Strategy Business Competition, a global competition involving running a simulation of a company in fierce competition with other campuses. My work on campus has brought me close collaboration with the Department of Accounting and Finance with the aim of attracting new accounting and finance students to transfer. And I'm proud to say we have 2 events scheduled before semester ends. Finally, with the assistance of other members of Beta Alpha Psi, I have organized this year's Spring Connection event, a mean for local firms and CSUSB accounting students to meet, network, and develop their careers out of campus. As Vice President of Finance, I will strive to maintain an open line of communication with any student and seek out those who are underrepresented and find out what I can do to better the college experience. Finance isn't easy for everyone, and looking through books can be very complicated. I want to be the liaison and an advocate for every student. After all, we're coming out of a pandemic, and people are exhausted with worry, regulation, the stress of online classes, money, etc. I want to make sure I can be your advocate and speak to your issues to the board, and together create a better campus experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all candidates, for your opening statements. Now we will move forward to begin our question and answer segment. Our first category is shared governance and will be for our executive vice president candidates. Question number 1. Student representation serves as a foundation to the shared governance structure the university has, which includes decision-making by administration, faculty, and students. How will you ensure that ASI continues to be a part of shared governance process? And we will start with Paola Galvez.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. If you may you please repeat that question for me, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Students' representation serves as a foundation to to the shared governance structure the university has, which includes decision-making by the administration, faculty, and students. How will you ensure that ASI continues to be a part of shared governance process?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. I feel like that is a great question. Returning to campus in the midst of a pandemic, right? I want to make sure that there are students representing, there's students representing their voice at the table everywhere. Through that, I know that ASI, we are taking part of several committees, subcommittees, standing committees, and working groups as well. So I feel that my resolution to that as your executive vice president and as one of the officers that is actually in charge, right, sitting in this role to put those students on committees and working groups, to follow through with that, and to make sure that we get not only students involved that are closer to ASI, but students from all over, reaching out to make sure we have representation from not only also the San Bernardino campus, but also the PDC campus. So just really highlighting those groups and being open to any and all committees and working groups out there that we may not know of as well, but that are affiliated with CSUSB. If they seek student representation, then I would be more than happy to be that bridge between them. And then I will be, to make sure that we have students sitting on all those groups. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula. Let me put this on pause there. Okay. Thank you, Paula. We will move forward to our next candidate is Nathalie Ramos. I will repeat the question to you so that way you'll have a fair opportunity to answer the question. Student representation serves as a foundation to the shared governance structure the university has, which includes decision-making by the administration, faculty, and students. How will you ensure that ASI continues to be a part of shared governance process?
Thank you, Jeanette, for the question. So basically, in order to ensure the students are part of the process where every aspect that is involved, I would have to make my presence known, meaning not only will I be going to the meetings that I'm supposed to but I will actively go up and create a line of communication with other clubs outside of ASI, because I believe those clubs like the Women's Center, the Pan-African Center, all of that, we need to make a direct line between ASI and other entities. That way we can collaborate and bring not just what our ideas we think they are, but others what they have as well, because we are for the students. So we have to come up and get to the all of the entities that are there and just get input from them, and also encourage more students to go to our board meetings. Sometimes it's like this, always like the select few that go. We need more presence because it's basically their voice. We're there for them, and we have to encourage more attendance, whether it's by coming up to them and letting them know, like, hey, these are our meetings, like advertising them more during the time. It's creating a direct line between us and the students and other student entities. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Paula, do you have any questions for Nathalie at this time or a rebuttal?
No, thank you.
Nathalie, do you have any questions for Paula or rebuttal at this time?
Not at the moment.
Thank you so much. We will move to question number 2. ASI is responsible for appointing students to various campus committees that address students' needs. If elected, how will you ensure students remain an important voice on the many evolving committees on campus? Paula? Uh-oh. One moment, please. One moment, please.
Okay.
You may start now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. One of the ways that I plan on doing that and making sure that students are not only actively attending those committees, but that also feel that they are being heard, feel that, you know, any questions and opinions that are taken into consideration, as they're representing the student body. One of the ways that I plan on doing that is just setting up one-on-ones with those students, right? Those students will potentially be students that I will be working with, communicating with, to connect them with those working groups, with those committees, subcommittees. So one of the ways, like I said, that I plan on doing that is connecting with not only the student leaders that I have on that committee, but also those leading that committee, whether it be the chair, right? Whoever, to see that student is being heard at the table, to get input from them. And if not, to find that resolution for that, what it is that we need to do to make sure that there is a student being heard at the table, whether it be by perhaps finding that student another committee that they may be more interested, because at the end of the day, that student also has to have interest in that committee. And that is something that I really believe in, because when you are sitting at that table, when you're in the Zoom meeting, you have to be comfortable enough and you have to be attracted to the topic, right? I understand that not all topics are students are attracted to not all topics, but we can take the proper steps to resolve issues like that and get through those bumps on the road so that we have those students representing at the table. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Paola. We're going to move on to Ms. Ramos and regarding the same question, and I will read it again. ASI is responsible for appointing students to various campus committees that address students' needs. If elected, how will you ensure students remain an important voice on the many evolving committees on campus?
So one big aspect that I really want to push for is like collaboration with other departments and entities on campus. Like I said, there are subgroups of other different clubs on campus where they may be attracted to the committees they don't even know exist. And one way to push these committees out there is kind of like, would be a great idea to have similar to a career fair, but rather ASI hosts a committee fair where you essentially show up and those who chair the committees or a person that is from that committee can go there and tell students, have an event where students can come on there and they can tell them in person, what the committee is about. One thing is to read it by paper and just be like, okay, it's cool. But it's a different thing to talk to somebody who actively has been in that committee, has participated, and they can share you their personal experience, because connecting personally for committees is, I think, a more, a more easier way to get students attracted to want to be involved. Because like I said, reading on paper is just one thing. You can read it and be like, okay, this is cool. But if you're actively hearing from somebody and you see their experience and you see how much they enjoyed it, you are more willing to be attracted and participate and show your ideas, which a lot of students have. They just don't know where to go, where to find them. And if you can speak someone directly who can connect you with that committee right then and there, it's easier for students to get involved. There is no barrier where they have to go find the information. It's right there in front of them.
Thank you so much to both of you. I do have a question, a follow-up question within that question. How would you get students involved in the committee? So let's just say, for an example, if there's not enough students or not enough students for that committee, how would you get students more involved in that committee, in those committees, to fulfill the committees? And I'll start with you, Ms. Paola.
Thank you, Jeanette. Right before, my apologies, right before you began speaking, I raised my hand for a rebuttal.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. What time do I have for that?
Yep, 30 seconds.
Thank you. So starting now, I would like to ask Natalie, from my personal experience in working with working groups and committees, there are some committees that do require one more student representative, perhaps, to get that student voice on there. Others require numerous. So how do you plan on approaching that specific, that specific detail there, getting students on there, and also through this virtual platform? I understand that would be a great idea if it were in person, but being that half of our students are only going to be on campus for the fall semester, what is your resolution to that?
May I go?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so social media is a big thing during the virtual world. So it substitutes first basically the in-person. IG lives or Instagram lives are a thing. It's easier. You can just honestly, I believe Instagram lets you know how many people are active on Instagram at that moment when you go live. So just talking, I know ASI does that a lot with going live to advertise their positions. So it wouldn't be as difficult to substitute it for social media. We just got to find ways and be creative. It's easy. Like I said, it's easy to communicate with students and be there. Sending out a mass email isn't really going to do anything. I believe in person approach has to be done in order to entice students to come and join these committees. So social media would definitely play a big role. Holding virtual events like a virtual committee fair, same thing. It would bring more students in.
Okay, your time is up. Thank you. Any follow-up questions, Ms. Paula?
No, thank you.
Thank you. What about you, Miss Natalie?
No, thank you.
Thank you. To my former question, how would you, if there weren't enough students on a committee, what kind of plans would you put in place to help students get more involved in the committees? And I'll start with you, Ms. Paula.
Thank you so much for that great question. Again, all these are wonderful questions. I love them all. One of the things that I plan on doing, if that is the case, right, is reaching out to various groups of students on campus. I know that it may be difficult to reach out to students who may not be affiliated with many clubs or you know, maybe may have close connections to various departments. But I feel like reaching out to those departments and those students that they have that are involved and spreading the word in that way to get students on those committees could potentially work. I know that it's difficult in this virtual setting to reach out to people, but we have to do what we have to do. I mean, if emails or if asking to even set up a meeting, you know, if that's possible, I feel like, and if I'm sitting in a meeting and I'm asking someone, I'm communicating with them, you know, the background behind this committee and that we need students on them, that's a way to get that effort out instead of reaching out through email, just having that communication. And it's the same thing that I plan on doing when we transition back to campus as well, having that, you know, face-to-face communication, setting up those meetings, to connecting with various groups on campus and both campuses to make sure that, you know, if they know of any student leaders, you know, to please send them our way. And I feel like that by doing that, we're also creating that community as well within our CSU campus of bringing students together and putting them in those leadership roles.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Miss Nathalie, I apologize if I'm messing up your name, Miss Ramos. If you could answer that question, how would you put a plan in place to get more students to be involved in committees if there's a lack of students?
So personally, I have a great relationship with a lot of my professors. So one way I would attack this issue would be kind of asking them if I could have a couple minutes before or after their class to speak to the students there and let them know we have this committee available. Would you guys be interested? I'm willing, like right here and right now, to send you information, give you my email, get you in contact with me. Another way would be to not only like contact departments, but reach out to students personally that I know. So let's say, for example, we have, I'm part of the policy committee right now. So if I know, I'm a political science major, so obviously this committee instantly got my attention. And obviously a lot of students within that major would too. So I would reach out to students that I know are in political science that may be enticed to want to go because this is within their interest. Same with the finance. Reach out to all the county students, finance students, let them know like, hey, we have positions. This would help you in putting what you're learning in a classroom to use and being like expressing your skills that you're learning and putting them to real life work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you both for your great answers. And I want to go ahead and turn it over. I see Paula's hand. Paula?
Thank you. I have a question for Natalie. You mentioned in the beginning about how you would reach out to your professors, right? However, I understand that our professors, right, and the class standing that you are in right now, I'm assuming most of your professors, pardon me, are specifically tied to your major, to what you are pursuing, right? So being that you are the class standing that you are, and how professors and those types of classes are more closely tied to your major, your core, right? Your core classes, how do you plan on reaching out to other professors from other majors, all the other colleges? Thank you.
You can answer, Miss Natalie.
Okay, thank you. So being at the class standing I am, I've actually had the luxury of having multiple courses, not just within my political science department. I've had communications, I have English. It varies throughout the board. So I'm fortunate enough that my majors does not require a lot of coursework. So I'm able to expand and dip into different categories and majors within their fields and departments. So I've made a lot of great communications with them. I'm also not afraid to just reach out to them, even if I don't know them. A lot of the professors here are super friendly.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we're going to go ahead on and move on to our next category. And I thank you so much, Natalie and Paula, for your answers to those questions. Our next category will be for our candidate for Vice President of Finance. And this is on the club allocation budget. Question number 1. The Vice President of Finance is responsible for the allocation of funds from ASI budget to the clubs and organizations through the CAB process. If elected, how will you ensure funding is provided to as many clubs as possible while ensuring you remain unbiased in the application process? Mr. Spoon?
Thank you so much for that question. We are just coming out of a pandemic. We're still technically in one, and a lot of clubs have suffered dramatically as a result. I know on my side, on the business side, the Financing and Management Association has temporarily disbanded, as well as Toastmasters. They're still trying to get organization together through this process. So a lot of clubs will need that opportunity to rebuild, and reach out to other students. And to approach this in an unbiased way and a fair and equitable way, it would require to reach out to every club that exists on campus, find out what they need, and address it without consideration to what kind of club it is. Everyone has their own. I'm definitely not going to. I believe that it is important to approach the allocation of these funds in a fair and just way. And it would require, of course, considerable interviews and understanding of the club's positions to understand what is required for each allocation. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Spoon. We truly appreciate your answer. And question number 2 for you, Mr. Spoon, because you're the only candidate we have right now. Question number 2, students, clubs, and orgs have had to adjust their programming tactics because of the pandemic and the regulations regarding social distancing measures. What are some ways ASI can help these organizations in ensuring they enhance the school spirit while remaining safe and following the protocols set by the health officials?
Thank you for the question. It is important as we return to campus and clubs start to begin their process of attracting new members and running fundraising and really sparking the spirit of Cal State San Bernardino, that they do so in a safe way. Finding ways for clubs to have rooms that can fit their students in a socially distanced way, and making sure that procedures are followed. In terms of the participation of ASI, I want to make sure that they are following procedures and doing things safely. And so we don't have any chance of outbreak because we're on a very much a teetering point. There is a chance of things going back in the red. People are getting vaccines, which is wonderful, but we must remain vigilant. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. A lot of people want to get back to normalcy, but one has to temper their expectations in this regard. And I believe that it is through a light hand that ASI would work through this. But if there are students acting significantly unsafely in these clubs, we have to inform them and try to rectify the situation. The health of students is paramount. Thank you.
I have a follow-up question to that. Can you see or speak on maybe giving 2 ways that ASI can help to ensure social distancing measures while keeping the school spirit up?
Wonderful. Interestingly, a lot of the social distancing measures that we can accomplish are being accomplished by the school faculty themselves. The fact is, class sizes are smaller, so the areas in which a club might meet would be smaller. I would highly encourage and stress the importance of if there's events, outdoor events, because we all know that the spread is more focused in an indoor setting. So having that opportunity, and I know things are always shifting in regards to how we're following measures from the CDC, but I imagine we're going to maintain masking for the semester. And that's something I want to make sure we have involvement. And if need be, if we want to make sure we have those masks available for students, because we don't want any chance of an outbreak.
Thank you.
California is doing very well so far, as of late, since January, and I certainly want to keep it that way.
Thank you so much, Mr. Spoon. I truly appreciate your answering that question, that follow-up question. The last question that I have for you, which is question number 3, your role is dedicated to the financial operations of ASI and its well-being. If elected, how will you ensure these fees are used in accordance with the previous referendum voted on by students and are within the mission of ASI? And what are some of your plans?
Now, I know any accountant would say they don't want to make any promises before they see the numbers. I have not looked at the books directly, and it is important for us to get a full analysis of our finances to better understand how we can best utilize them. However, I can make some inferences based on the last year. We haven't had nearly as many expenditures as we do as a typical year, due to events not being available and clubs likely reaching out for less cab money. There is an importance in making sure that everything is allocated in that regard.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your answering that. And thank you. So our next category is open for all candidates and will be on the platform and post-pandemic plans. Any candidate may answer the next set of questions. The first question will be, you all have showcased various platforms and initiatives on your campaigns. What makes your campaign stand out the most? And what is something you would bring that has not already been seen from ASI? And Mr. Spoon, since you're on my camera, I'll go ahead on and choose you if you'd like to answer that question.
Well, thank you. So I am new to the political process for ASI. I do not hold any reservations in that regard. I transferred in from the fall. However, In this short time, I have been able to outreach and collaborate with many other groups. And I want to speak to one of them particularly, which is CalCPA, which is the California Organization for CPA, Certified Public Accountants. So nearly every CPA is on this list, and the Inland Empire chapter is one I work with closely. In fact, during this year, I was able to partner with them as well as members from Beta Alpha Psi to join and run for their 100% membership program, which provides several opportunities, including additional scholarships, means for orientation for incoming freshman transfer students, additional publication, advertising opportunities, etc. Now, I know this is highly focused in accounting, but that is what I focus on. That is my forte, and that is what I want to work on. But the point remains that the ability to outreach to other groups of interest that want to assist with schools who have a vested interest in furthering education to help their businesses and organizations is something I think is crucially important in regards to ASI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Spoon. Any of the other two candidates, if you would like to respond to that, if you would like, I could. Miss Nathalie, Miss Ramos.
Hi, could you just repeat the question one more time?
Absolutely. You all have showcased various platforms and initiatives on your campaigns. What makes your campaign stand out the most? And what is something you would bring that has not already been seen from ASI?
Okay, so I'm kind of excited about this one. So I have kind of like multiple things, but one of them would be kind of creating a survey of race and climate to distribute from ASI to our students, because we are aware of what population is on campus, but we're not aware of the sentiment that they hold, especially during the social justice issues right now. So getting a sense of what students are actually going through can help us better advocate for them, not just send out a mass email and say, hey, I'm sorry that you're going through this. How can we help? We can actually get the input directly from them. Another thing is we talk a lot about inclusivity on ASI and all that, but we sit on Native American land. And I feel like even though we acknowledge that we sit on it, we don't really have their voice in the table as often as we would like. So collaborating with the Tribal Relations Office and the Free People Center would definitely be one of the things that ASI should do and will do if I'm elected. One more thing is that I grew up undocumented. So there are, for undocumented students to get funding for college is very hard. So, and I know ASI has scholarships for them, but something I want to do is definitely create either a fellowship or a scholarship, just target at undocumented students to help them, especially during COVID and post-COVID life. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Ms. Galvez?
Thank you, Jeanette. I feel honored to have been your Vice President of Finance this year. I loved every single moment of voicing your concerns at the table, right? Personally, I have struggled myself. I'm currently right now living in a hotel with my family, this place right here. I'm relying on a hotspot from campus to have internet connection. I don't want other students to go through this. And this is why my campaign at the end of the day is going to be all of the different points that I will be mentioning in my campaign through my campaign page on Instagram are going to be centered towards academic equity. Academic equity is really important to me. I know what it is like to face hardship, right? Being able to go through a situation like myself, while also getting headaches every now and then because of a concussion I got from 8th grade. It's tough out there. And I hate to hear stories like this from students, because I just wish that I could help them with the snap of my fingers. Some of the things that I plan on doing is hosting enrollment drives for assistance programs, making sure that students who perhaps need some guidance in filling out applications to get additional assistance that is out there, for basic needs to be able to do that. I want to make sure that I guide students towards the right direction. Something else is, our leadership. During this year, our ASI, we presented a scholarship specifically for Native American students as well. So being able to put out scholarships like that, right, thousands and thousands of dollars, as I'm doing right now in the current position, is something that I want to keep continuing to do, to provide those opportunities to students. So that way students don't have to forfeit their success because of a lack of basic needs. And I stand by that. And I will stand by that from now through the next year. No matter if I get to this position or not, I will find a way to stay in leadership, because students are so important to me. I want to help students, and I want to make sure that their success does not rely on their access to basic needs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Paula, for that. And thank you all candidates for answering those questions. This is going to conclude our question and answer segments. Candidates, you will now have 3 minutes for your closing statements. We will resume in alphabetical order by last name. Paula, if you could please go first.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here. First and foremost, I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Alfredo, to Herbert, to Jesse, our people here who are helping to put this together, and Sage as well. Thank you, Jeanette. Good job to Natalie and Joshua. I just want to leave you all with this. I know that I have been more financially focused, and the reason that I took on to try to be that vice president of finance last year for this year was because I knew that as a second year student, I needed to nurture my leadership skills more. I needed to learn more. I needed to be around the board of directors more time and learn from other students, right? How to be a leader. With that being said, I'm ready and I feel prepared to take on the executive vice president role in ASI, because over these past 2 years, I have been through numerous meetings, spoken to numerous students, seen and heard so much. I also had a chance to speak with the chancellor as well, and 6 other people in the room this year, and that was just such an impactful moment. So I want to keep being that voice for students at the table, and I want to make sure that students join me as well at the table as well, and making sure that we have that representation on committees and working groups, so that way we get back on our feet stronger than ever when we get back to campus and visit that beautiful new SMSU expansion, which I'm greatly looking forward to. Thank you all so much for being here. And also I commend all you student leaders out there, whether you're an ASI or whether you're leading your club or department, whatever it may be, congratulations, because you are what is helping to pave the way for our future Coyotes. And I want to do just that through this election cycle and into the next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula, for that. We truly appreciate that. Ms. Ramos, we'll have you go do your final statements, ma'am.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you for moderating this whole session. You're awesome. And thank you everybody who is present and is watching, our candidates as well. It was fun getting to know your ideas. I just want to say that I've been on the board of directors for about 1.5 years now, serving as a College of Social Behavioral Science representative. And during that time, I've had the luxury of being the vice president pro tem for finance, and I'm currently serving as the executive vice president pro tem. And I've taken some of the role and I've taken over sometimes for our executive vice president. And so I'm aware of what the part of what the role holds, and I can use my experience to further advocate my own interests and the students onto the platform that I will be given if elected, helping the students pass their post-COVID life, which will be difficult, especially with their academic life, and just kind of holding our faculty more accountable than they have been, honestly. And I just want to thank everybody for just, participating. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ramos, for that. We truly appreciate your closing statement. Now we'll move over to Joshua Spoon, sir.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. And thank you for serving as our moderator. I really appreciate the questions. Herbert, Sage, Alfredo, Jesse, everyone here, and all the students who are watching. Remember, you were the voice, and I want to make sure that you were empowered. My 3 platforms: leadership, transparency, and accessibility. And I want to make sure that every single student is empowered to know their finances and understand how Cal State San Bernardino is addressing it. I have spoken to my leadership experience, if it's not between Beta Alpha Psi or any other organization I've worked with, involvement, and it's humbling to be given this opportunity to speak to you and run for this office. It's a great honor to do so, and I hope that on the 28th you'll have an opportunity to vote Spoon. Thank you.
Thank you all very much, Candace, for truly joining us today and speaking to your fellow cohorts on today's event. So fellow Coyotes, thank you for joining us today in today's event. I would like to thank our Candace for joining us remotely. Remember, voting begins April 28th from your My Coyote email and will conclude on April 29th at 11:59 p.m. Also, you'll have more chances to interact with your candidates tomorrow at the Arcade Howl. So register in the link on our website or social media. On behalf of ASI, we look forward to the election and wish you all a great day. Thank you so much and make it a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us.